Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 the NS9 Postgame Show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Dougie Fresh, or maybe Dougie Stale. I don't know. It's
not
been
too fresh.
It's been a long few weeks here. What's up, Doug?
It's actually only been a long 8 days, but yeah, okay. It seems like it's been longer, but yeah, I think we can take the April 19th game and discuss it. That was tonight's game. A nice starting pitching performance, albeit a surprising one, and that was it. Right, that was it. You're. It went, boy, it happened fast, right? It really wasn't that long ago that we had some enthusiasm for this season, had some excitement, had some hope, and just like that, wow.
Doug, what just happened? Literally
just over
73 seconds ago. As I was updating the banner below, I said, wait, there's 6 games under? I wasn't sure if I was reading this wrong or if like the person updated the banner before me put an incorrect number. And I double check because, like you said, like it just happened. So there quickly became 6 games under 500. And yeah, wow.
Right.
Again, of course, though, when you lose 8 in a row now 9 of 10, I guess that happens to you.
Yeah. You can get there quick, right? It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long when, throughout the year, missed opportunities and, add that to the 8-game losing streak and, man, you wonder how we ever talked about this team being good or being better or,
right.
For the longest time, remember our problem was, we could never win 3. We didn't win 3 in a row. We didn't lose 3 in a row for 50 some odd games.
Yep.
And we're making up for that now.
Can we just win 1 in a row?
Yeah, let's just win a game. A game.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a pitcher who hasn't pitched since May. It doesn't matter if it's a pitcher that's had 6 straight bad outings. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
Jake Woodford has a really good start, but
he did.
Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, Doug, before we get any further, of course, let you know BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number 1 source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from UFC to baseball to Formula 1 racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website to get on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline, the game starts here. Hey, if you've been betting against the Pirates for some time, can I hold $100?
Yeah.
You're doing good.
Lucrative, right? Yeah. There is a get rich quick scheme, right? Just bet on the Pirates to lose.
There you go.
It's better than Bitcoin, right?
Oh man. But going back to what you talked about here just recently as well about, Jake Woodford. Honestly, he's pitched well since he's been a Pirate. Very unfortunate events before that led to, the losses in the games where he pitched well. Tonight, you can't ask for more. It's Jake Woodford. You're not asking for much when he's there at all. And he put this team in an absolute position to win. He went 6 innings, 3 hits. The 3rd hit came in the 6th inning where, Jurickson Profar got the double. He's having a hell of a season. If you're going to go 2 hits in 6 innings and that's the 3rd one you give up, heading into the 7th, and they pull him out immediately, whatever. He strands him on second base. That time he had no earned runs. Obviously, as we'll talk about here shortly, that became an earned run for him. But he gave you everything you needed. This is the San Diego Padres that are hot as hell. You see that offense, and they have a fantastic offense. And Jake Woodford came in and he did his thing.
Yeah, I mean, he retired 11 in a row at one point. I mean, he was, and it again, it looked easy. It looked like he had a plan. He was executing it. Plays were being made behind him. It was pretty impressive. Unfortunately, it's all for naught. But yeah, I mean, he did. If you get 6 innings and he gives up 3 runs, you're saying he did his job. He did really well. And he went 6 innings and gave up a run, and he didn't allow that last run. Right? I mean, he gave up a leadoff double, so you expect that to score. But I mean, man, he was terrific, and it's just a series of those kind of performances that we've gotten all year. And somehow we're 6 games under 500 with great pitching from just unexpected corners of the universe, right? I mean, yes, we
Right.
thought Keller would be good, and we thought Skeens would be good, but we didn't think Skeens would be this good, and we certainly didn't expect Jared Jones to be this good, or Bailey Falter, or Luis Ortiz. I mean, we've been getting it all year, and it seems like we've wasted an awful lot of it.
Right.
Tonight, certainly.
And just to touch on this also, I mean, the entire reason that Woodford was in the game pitching was because Marco Gonzalez goes on the 60-day IL. He was the trade acquisition this year, paid down twice from Seattle to the Braves, then to Pittsburgh, came with an injury risk. Started the season pretty strong and was out for a while, then returned. Looked a bit shaky there of the recent, return, but he was scheduled to start today. And, it came of as a TBD, and we're talking a little bit today, like what's going on? I know it's Marco as opposed to Marco, but now it's not. Is something creeping up? And find out.
Yeah, someone
forearm
texted me and asked me
tightness.
who was pitching. I'm like, well, it's Marco's turn, right?
Yeah. Turns out forearm tightness. His
But
season's
yes,
over,
as
60-day
usual, we
IL.
get the prompt updates, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Jake Woodford,
Yeah,
hey,
he's done.
you're starting today.
He's done for the year. Yeah. Yeah, and right. I mean, again, if he would have pitched 3 scoreless innings, I would have thought, well, that's a nice job by him. And he gives you 6. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. We couldn't have asked for any more. Unfortunately, we got some. We did what the Pirates do. We'd get guys on second with 1 out or nobody out, and that's where they would stay. Pirates kryptonite all year long. Runners in scoring position with nobody out. And it wasn't just the weak parts of the lineup.
No.
Reynolds didn't come through a couple times. Tellez didn't. I mean, just it's everybody. It's a team effort. All hands on deck, and it's too bad.
Yeah. And as of today, 10 guys left on base that went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, which that one came with 2 outs in the 9th when Kutch hit that single and drove in with De La Cruz.
Right.
That was your one hit with runners in scoring position that, got them to come in and score.
Yeah, it took 24
too little,
outs
too late, obviously.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess not theoretically. I mean, that was a big clutch moment. Brian Reynolds could have, tied a game or won at that point.
No, that was
still.
good.
So it wasn't too little, too late, but it had to come with 2 outs in the 9th inning for them to finally do so. And they had, like you said, plenty of opportunities. And what I want to touch on is you're talking about the pitching, how they found so many ways. And, it's been really the pitching that's been the problem in this streak here. It's not really been the bats. And, that's why you're hoping when Mitch Keller came in, he was going to be a stopper. When Paul Skeens came in, he was going to be a stopper, and they weren't. And turns out that all they knew was Jake Woodford. He was the stop. Well, never mind. The offense didn't come through today.
Jake Woodford. Yeah.
Right. Like you finally get something from your pitching, and then the offense just totally collapses.
Yeah. Completely disappears. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's for as one-sided as we've been so many times throughout the season, we have found a variety of ways to lose. Right. I mean, we lost a bunch of games because we couldn't score 2 runs, and now we've lost a bunch of games because we couldn't hold them to less than 9 runs. It's just been we can find ways to lose, right? That is, it's really, we've gone from the bullpen is elite and the starting rotation is a weakness. The starting rotation becomes a strength, and the bullpen becomes not elite necessarily, but not so terrible. And then the offense, we finally start getting the offense to click, and both the bullpen and the rotation fall apart. So we can't get all three to click. It's been really something. Lots of people to blame, I suppose, but it doesn't matter, right? We can have that conversation all day long. They're 6 games under 500, and they still have 2 more games with San Diego, and then they get Seattle. Hard to say, oh yeah, we're going to turn this around starting tomorrow.
Yeah. What we talked about today on Starbucks was usually when we preview a series, you look at the matchups and say, hey, Keller, Skeens, like you just that alone, you know what, you feel comfortable
Right.
2 out of 3 probably today and such. And right now the matchups don't matter. When you're heading into the series, of course, today we didn't really know who was going to pitch, but Musgrove coming back from the injury hasn't been strong this season. I know King's there tomorrow, but the Pirates faced him very well last time. And then Martin Perez is going to be there for the 3rd game. Old friend Martin Perez, who with the Pirates wasn't pitching too well when he left. So like normally look at the series and say like, hey, this is winnable. But now the way the Pirates are playing, it is winnable.
Right.
But what way are they going to find or create to lose them? And today it was the pitching will be there. They're just going to go back to their old offensive ways and not be able to score runs.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the Pirates, they're going to lose 2-1, 9-8, and then 7-0. I mean, it's just you just don't know, right? And it's hard to believe now, right? It's hard to look at it and say, oh, great, Keller's pitching, and he's pitched well. And I expect him to continue to pitch well, and but you're not as sure, and it's the same thing with Skeens. He's had a couple of less than starts than when he started out. You're not sure, especially against a team that hits like this, that he's going to hold them to 1 or 2, right? So you don't feel good going into any of these games, regardless of who we have pitching or who's hitting well, anything. It's just like we just don't know, but it just feels like some component is going to let us down, or multiple components. So,
Yep. Now, what I want to say next here, and let me preference this. This isn't the reason they lost. However, Woodford, allows the double. They bring in Kyle Nicholas. And this is where I have my certain quirks, my certain people, right? Kyle Nicholas is just one of them for me. He really needs to earn my trust. He really needs to earn me to say he's good. And he's been on a right track, but I just will not trust him in situations. And today was like another good example of it. The guy was on second base, wild pitch, allows the guy to go to third. By the way, his 5th wild pitch on the year, 4 hit by batters, 5 wild pitches, 1 balk so far on the year for Kyle Nicholas. Yeah, he has the stuff, that's for sure, but he has a hard time honing it in. He has a hard time commanding. He has a hard time doing all the little things too. So he allows Profar to go to third. Then, of course, he gives up the hit. Profar scores. Had he not thrown the wild pitch, Profar still on second. That ball wasn't hit well enough for Profar to score. Third out is eventually made. No run is earned there. So Woodford actually leaves scoreless.
Right.
And now it's also still a 0-0 ball game. Heading in there. And like I said, like this is a little bit nitpicking, but when I say I don't trust Kyle Nicholas, this is the reasons why.
Right. I mean, come on. Every roster in baseball has a guy like Kyle Nicholas with great stuff, but just not quite has it all together. Right. And he does just enough, like you said, just enough wild pitches, just enough hit batters to magnify his mistakes. So, he does give up the hit, but if he wouldn't have walked a guy, hit a batter, it wouldn't have mattered if he gave up a hit. But right. And these things count, they add up. And he's not I say if he comes in with runners on, you're not sure, right? How can you be? You're not sure. He's had moments, right? He's had stretches where he's looked really good, but to he's going to stay a fifth or sixth inning type guy until he can consistently clean it up and, get a little better command. And I mean, he's young. He's still really young. There's lots of opportunity for him to improve. And I feel certain that he'll be on the roster next year. 'Cause the stuff is there,
yeah.
and there were enough signs, this year. But right, the Pirates will pick up 5 relievers in the offseason that have a similar profile, right? And he could quickly get squeezed out, right? I mean, Moretta comes back, maybe Baraki comes back, Majinski's, but comes. It's
I mean, there's a scenario like Oviedo
you would
starts in the
really like
bullpen
to see
next
him
year.
sort of plant his flag. Yeah, that's right. Oviedo or Burrows, or I mean, there's arms. We have lots of arms, lots of guys with stuff, right? And it's going to be interesting to see how some of that shakes out.
Right. And again, he is young.
You'd like to see him
still
take
a learning
advantage of the
curve.
opportunity now, right?
Right. And this isn't to say like he doesn't belong in a bullpen at all and such, but he's not, and I'm not ready to put him in any high leverage late innings. Now, of course, this bullpen isn't good, so he's kind of pushed into those roles a little bit. But I feel a lot more comfortable. He has to come in a clean inning. It's got to be like the 5th or 6th, like you're mentioning here as well. But again, he does go 1 inning here.
Yeah.
Does have the strikeout, for the 3rd out there. But gives up the hit, makes it 1-0. The Pirates continue to not be able to do much. I think it's immediately after is when Cruz had the double, or shortly after. Cruz, by the way, goes 2 for 3 tonight with a walk also. Had the double, had also a stolen base. Cruz looking good offensively. Like if anyone was doing anything today, actually was Ono Cruz offensively to try to get this team to score some runs. Again, he had a double, had a single,
Had a really nice
got
throw.
on second.
Yeah, he had a really nice throw on that double play too. The one that tipped off Nicholas' glove, and Kalefa made the real nice play, back flipped it to him, and he just fired it strike right on time. That was nice to see. So yeah, it was a good game for Cruz.
Yeah, good call. And also, that was
Just
a
no
really,
help.
really good play. I mean, great play by Kiner Falefa to make it, turn it to Cruz so quickly.
Yeah.
Cruz on it, had the strong throw to first. Yeah, that was a big double play, too, for them at that moment.
Yeah. Yes, there were some good things today. I think we found all the positives so far, right? We've covered them all, right?
But like this, again, like this isn't to put the blame on these guys like a tall like Nicholas, not to put the blame on him, but allowing that run where you could have prevented it, right? The blame is on the offense. What I'm alluding to here also is then like Brian De La Cruz just can't field a baseball, apparently. Like we've warned and said like his defense is not good. I was not expecting it to be this terrible, though. I mean, just in the last 3 games that he's played, he has bobbled 3 baseballs. And then he airmailed 1 throw. And on the 1 ball that he bobbled, he 4-hopped to home where like that could have been an out. And so today, like that bobble is an error, another run scores. And so it's like there's 2 runs. Like if you're talking about a team who you want to focus on run prevention, since your offense is not that good to score runs,
right?
This team did a terrible job today preventing runs outside of actual Jake Woodford pitching his ass off.
Jake Woodford, right? Right. Yeah, it's really something to watch a major league player who, starts just about every game. He's, he's getting opportunities, who just can't cleanly pick up a ball and throw it. It's almost bizarre. And that's been our right field situation most of the year, right? If it's not him, it's G1 Bay. It's
Jack,
it's just bad. Yeah, Jack. Right. It's just like, it's clear. You and I discussed this the other night. Oliveras, right? Charrington does not value that part of the game. He just doesn't, because time and time again we're putting Henry Davis in right field after he's played it 2 innings, and and just, he's an athlete, he'll be able to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the comment here is how much, worse could Rooker
But
be?
that's not why
we were all talking about
right.
beware of Rooker
Yeah.
because of how bad is it.
Yeah.
Hey, at least he'd be hitting bombs right now. Granted,
Right.
I guess credit where credit's due. Brian De La Cruz did have 2 hits today, so he did provide some offense, and like as mentioned, he did score that last run when Kutch, hit the baseball there. So I guess he made up for it today, but it's been bad. And again,
well,
this
maybe.
right field defense.
Right?
This is 4 straight
Yeah,
games
it's
in a row
it's
where it's just been a challenge.
You can't. Right. 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 I mean, that's insane. Charrington 4-6 defense all time, and then it cost us consistently. And I mean, I can guarantee you the reason we didn't pick up Rooker wasn't because he wasn't a good fielder. It wasn't like Charrington said, "Nah, I just don't like the way he fields the ball." No, we can't have that. No, because he's putting out G1 Bay out there, who is that has no idea what to do out there. He's
right.
It was all a virus. We haven't had a good defensive right fielder. I mean, Connor Joe's probably our best one, right?
Oh, absolutely, hands down.
He's a first baseman,
no questions asked.
Yeah,
that guy's an elite
At
Gold
least
Glove
he
fielder
fields the ball
compared to everyone else.
cleanly. Yeah, right, exactly. He's Clemente out there compared to these guys. So,
I mean, bring me back Gregory Polanco as far as fielding goes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing how we've turned, a position that's got such a great history and had so many great players play it for the Pirates, and have just turned it into, it's not like an average guy out there. It's can't field the ball, can't take the ball from their glove to their throwing hand, can't make the throw. It's
the worst you've ever seen.
How bad, and it cost us. It cost us consistently. Yeah, and we've seen really bad.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say it's the worst you've ever seen until the next guy comes, and then that's the worst you've ever seen until the next guy comes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's I mean, I was excited about Michael A. Taylor because at least he could play defense, but and I mean that's the
Also
other
a great
thing.
catch
These
today.
guys that can't play defense also cannot hit, right? I mean it's not like Brian De La Cruz is making up for it with this great influence. Yes, he had 2 hits today, but generally speaking, he is. You've posted many times about what he's done since he's been here, and it didn't take up a whole lot of text space there. You didn't have to use a lot of characters to put all those big numbers,
right?
And so it's it's like how in the world have you decided to settle on right fielders that can't hit or field? At least you think you would just, all right, I'm just going to find the best guy that can catch and suck at the plate, as opposed to a guy who can't catch at all and still suck at the plate.
Yeah, you're finding no value anywhere.
Right.
Nowhere.
Yeah, right. There's just nothing. You're contributing nothing. You're negative. It's a negative contribution. At least he's still catching the ball, making the play.
So outside of that, I mean, again, I don't really know what much to talk. Beeks did come in, pitched. Dennis Santana came in, pitched. And again, I'll give credit to Dennis Santana. I know his numbers look bad overall. Like you're looking at him saying the 5.51 ERA, and opposite of like what we talked about with Bednar, right? Like he has a 5.77 ERA, but really it's not just because it's inflated by a bad April. He's not been consistently good all year long. He had a good stretch, but like outside of that stretch, he hasn't been good. With Dennis Santana,
and even in that stretch, even in that stretch, he was, he was getting the save, but he was putting runners on. It was a little dicey, right? I mean, it was still, 19 saves in a row was 19 saves in a row, but it wasn't he's not been as dominant clearly as he's been, and,
right?
But you're right. And then it's Dennis Santana,
Yeah, but like Santana, I think in his second appearance, he had 6 earned runs and he had like 2 earned runs, but he settled down. He's been pretty good since then. So, again, he comes in today and has two outs, gets them through that inning to get it to the 9th. And again, the Pirates, they came up with a run. right? Kutch did hit it, got it by first, came up pretty lame as well. So I know he's been fighting through an injury.
Yeah.
He had a couple days off. This didn't look too promising. Didn't look, terribly injured, but you're going to pitch run for him anyways at that point in time, regardless if he's hurt or not. So, I guess something to monitor right there. If Kutch is in the lineup tomorrow or not. But
yeah, I mean, it's easy to give him a day off. We just replace him with somebody who can't hit or can't throw. Or,
it's not that easy.
We got
you need
it's easy. It's easy. We just no, we definitely do. But like I said, maybe we'll play. What we'll do is we'll play Grandal and put Joey Bart at DH. There you go.
There it is.
Who pitches? No, it's not Skeens tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's Ortiz tomorrow, right? Yeah.
But 7 hits, 2 by De La Cruz, 1 by Connor Falefa, 1 by Tellez, 2 by O'Neill, and of course Kutch's hit there as well. Brian Reynolds 0 for 5. He was getting some good contact, and I will say this too. That was a great play to end it. I mean, there was a guy on first.
Great catch. Yeah.
He got all of that, almost all of it. I'll put it that way. Not all of it, because he didn't leave the yard, but he made really good contact. Yeah. Great play. That's how it ends. That's how it fell. But that was a Pirates all day.
That's what happens when you have guys that can catch the ball. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Look what I can do. So, Doug, anything else that you want to say or talk about?
No, absolutely not. The people have had enough of me 3 days in a row. They're like, oh my God, the losing streak's bad enough. You've now compounded it. 3 straight nights of Doug.
Doug, they've watched the Pirates lose how many in a row now?
It's 8. I think it's 8 in a row now.
So 3 days in a row is the least.
If they can endure that.
If they can watch the Pirates lose that many in a row, they can take Doug for 3 days. Doug clears the best, most likable person on NS9 anyways. So this is why we have people actually still watching the show. Is because you're on, Doug.
Right.
See?
The people have spoken. I love the people. Right.
So I guess at that rate, though, this is it. This is the end of your streak. We're cutting you off. This is
the end of my streak.
3 days in a row. Maybe the Pirates will win tomorrow, but I don't know.
It'll
Jim's
be a win
still in San Diego also. So
that is some serious mojo to overcome.
Well, everyone who watched tonight, you're all sickos once again, but we appreciate you. Honestly, we really do. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to us if you haven't. We'll be back, unfortunately, again tomorrow for this demise for our group therapy session. If listening to the podcast, I also don't know why you're doing that and why it's probably a whole new day. You're on your way to work. You're already at work. And you're like, you know what? I didn't get enough of that Pirates game last night. Let me listen to it in podcast form and see what NS9 had to say. So you're listening to this on a podcast. You're also a sicko. We appreciate you as well. And we'll be back tomorrow. So
good night, guys. Get some sleep. Yes, we are. We're out.
Let's do it. Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.